Welcome to the deep dive. We're plunging into some big ideas today, really trying to get to the core of things. And today, well, we're tackling a question that's probably as old as humanity itself. What does being truly wealthy actually mean to you? Is it just, the huge house, the fancy car, the bank account that never seems to end? Or is there maybe something more to it, something deeper?
That's exactly the question we're getting into. Our main source here is Robin Sharma's book, The Wealth Money Can't Buy. Now, Sharma, he's a pretty well-known personal growth expert. He's worked with billionaires, top athletes, even heads of state. And he calls this book a revolutionary method, a life-changing new philosophy for living what he terms an honestly rich life.
Yeah, and the promise is quite something, isn't it? He says he'll reveal these hidden habits so you can live your richest life and, crucially, avoid those regrets about, potentially you didn't fulfill.
Because let's face it, we're kind of trained almost from birth, aren't we? Society tells us success looks like money, possessions, fame, influence. Right. And Sharma pushes back hard against that. He starts with this really evocative story. It's about a young boy out in the country somewhere, and this boy sees a house way off in the distance, and its windows, they look like they're made of pure gold, shimmering.
So naturally, the boy is captivated. He sets off on this big trek, dreaming about this amazing golden house. But when he finally gets there, totally exhausted, what does he find?
It's just an old, broken-down barn. The windows are dirty, cracked, nothing special at all. That perfection he saw from far away, it was just a trick of the light, an illusion.
And what's so clever about that story, I think, isn't just the illusion itself. It's how our ideas about wealth create these golden windows all over the place. We project perfection onto things, money, status, and it blinds us to, well, maybe the real value that's right here in the everyday. It's about how we look at things.
Exactly. And Sharma links this directly to what he calls the suffering of unworthiness. You know that feeling, that nagging sense of not having enough money, enough material possessions, enough likes, followers, and social status.
Oh yeah, that constant striving.
He argues it creates this hole within us, and no amount of external stuff, no matter how shiny, can ever really fill that hole. It reminds me of that Zen proverb, right? Wherever you go, there you are. You can't escape your inner self just by changing your location or buying more stuff.
Nope. Your internal reality, that travels with you, always.
So, okay, if the usual markers of wealth are maybe illusions, or at least incomplete, what's the alternative? What's Sharma's big idea here?
His core argument basically is that money is only one form of wealth, just one piece. And he says, pretty bluntly, that worldly success without a joyful heart is fool's gold.
Fool's gold. I like that. So achieving all the external stuff, the money, the status, if you're miserable inside, it's worthless. Or worse, maybe.
That's the idea. He's saying you can't have real sustainable success on the outside if your inner world is, well, a mess. We see it all the time, don't we? People who seem to have it all, but then things just fall apart because the foundation wasn't there. Right. So true. Lasting abundance, according to Sharma, means doing well in all of his 8 forms of wealth, not just the money part.
Exactly. And he shares a bit about his own life, too. He talks about starting from humble beginnings, having a ton of flaws, he says. And now he lives this simple and profoundly perfect life, apparently in Italy, driven by this limitless love of growth. That personal journey kind of backs up his whole model, It sets us up nicely to explore these 8 forms.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's dive into this framework for an honestly rich life, where financial success is, important, but it's just one tile in a much bigger mosaic.
Yeah.
And the very first form, the one he seems to suggest, is foundational. It's growth, the daily self-improvement habit.
Right. Growth. This is all about realizing your unique gifts, your talents, making personal growth, personal mastery, your most precious currency. He actually says your wisest investment is making yourself into all you can be. It flips the script, really, prioritizing inner work over just chasing external wins.
That really hits home, doesn't it? Society is constantly measuring us by the outside stuff, job title, car, followers. But Sharma says something I think is really profound. Winning within is so much more important than winning in the world. The first is enduring. The second is fleeting.
That distinction is key because external victories, they can disappear overnight, can't they? A market crash, a job loss.
Yeah, totally. But that inner strength, developing your character, cultivating, as he says, a pure mind, that's yours. That's permanent.
And the benefits he lists for this inner growth, they're huge. Facing your fears, letting go of things that hold you back, tapping into your potential, building a pure mind, a witch heart, a heavyweight character, and a soaring spirit. It sounds pretty good.
It does. It makes you think about that Gandhi quote he uses. The only devils in the world are those running around inside ourselves. This is where the battle should be fought.
So the core message is crystal clear. A brilliant outer life begins with a beautiful interior one. Fix the inside first.
And he had this great little story to illustrate this, what he calls the leave the outer change follows inner change law.
Yeah, it's about a father, right? He tears up a picture of the world map, thinking it'll keep his son busy for ages.
Yeah, shreds it into tiny pieces. But the kid puts it back together super fast, and the dad's amazed, asks him how. The boy just says, easy, Dad. On the other side of the map was a picture of a person. Once I got the person together, the world was okay.
Wow, that's powerful. Once you get yourself together, your world will be okay. It really lands that idea of personal responsibility, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And it connects to his point about victims make excuses, leaders deliver results. He's quick to say leadership isn't about your job title or position. It's about agency, taking ownership.
And he gives that example of the rideshare driver, started with almost nothing, just $260 an immigrant.
Right. And through pure focus, hard work, and relentless desire to grow, plus this deep dedication to constant self-improvement, he builds a life, supports his family, 11 people. It just shows, doesn't it? That inner work, that growth mindset, it's not just navel-gazing, it's the engine that can drive incredible real-world results.
It really is. And it makes you reflect on that Charles Bukowski quote Sharma includes, "Can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be?" This whole growth idea feels like a call to get back to that authentic self.
Definitely. Okay, so speaking of the inner world, he also talks about dealing with our emotional baggage. He has this concept, don't be a resentment collector.
Yeah, the resentment stack.
Yeah.
He describes how all those little hurts, frustrations, disappointments we don't deal with, they just pile up and they drain our energy, literally change how we see things. He says, you start seeing slights that weren't even there.
Because you're looking through resentment-colored glasses.
Exactly. His big insight is, we see things not as they are, but as we are. If your inner world is full of resentment, your outer world looks pretty hostile.
So what's the fix?
Become a master of letting things go. Practice compassion. Try to understand that most likely everyone around us really is doing their best, even if their best is a mess.
Yeah, sometimes their best is a mess, but holding on to resentment only hurts us, right?
That's the point. It's about freeing yourself. He even quotes Nick Carraway from The Great Gatsby.
Oh, yeah. What's the line?
Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, just remember that all the people in this world haven't had the advantages that you've had. It's about perspective, empathy.
Cultivating that inner peace instead of constantly feeding conflict, even just inside your own head. Makes sense.
And then, kind of related, but maybe surprising, he says, it's okay to be sloppy.
Sloppy. How does that fit with growth and mastery?
Well, it's pushing back against that constant pressure to be perfect. You know, be perfect, have cut abs, always be on. He says we need a richly balanced life. That means allowing for periods of, get this, strategic laziness. Time to rest, recharge, just be human.
Strategic laziness. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
But how is that different from just, slacking off?
He compares it to farming. Farmers know they need fallow seasons for the soil to recover and be productive again. It's not about never working hard. It's about cycles. It's a conscious choice to step back and replenish so you can actually be more effective long term, not just burning out like a machine.
Okay, I get it. It's about sustainable high performance, not constant grinding. Interesting.
And then to sort of understand our starting point, how we got programmed in the first place, he introduces the PNAM principle.
PNAM. Okay, what's that stand for?
It's a 5-letter acronym explaining how you became who you are today. We'll just touch on the first letter for now. P is for parents.
The early influences.
Exactly. He points out that even with the best intentions, parents often pass down flawed programming. Things like money scars, limiting beliefs about what's possible. As kids, we subconsciously absorb and model our caregivers' attitudes, their fears, their ways of being in the world. And that stuff sticks.
Right. It shapes our whole operating system, often without us even realizing it. So understanding that P, that parental programming, is crucial for real growth.
Absolutely vital. You have to unpack that to figure out who you actually are, separate from those early imprints.
Okay, so that's growth. A really deep dive just into the first form. But it sets the stage, right? It's the foundation. Let's quickly sketch out the other 7 forms he identifies, just to give everyone the full picture of this honestly rich life.
Sounds good. So number 2 is wellness. The steadily optimize your health habit. This is huge for Sharma. He basically says your energy, your vitality, that's the real currency. Without peak health, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, it's hard to enjoy anything else, right?
Hmm.
So optimizing health is key to true wealth.
Makes total sense. Okay, number 3.
Family. The happy family, happy life habit. This goes beyond just, spending time together. It's about actively cultivating deep, supportive relationships. Your family, your close friends, they should be your sanctuary. He stresses how vital these connections are. No amount of money makes up for being alone.
So true. Number 4.
Craft. The work as a platform for purpose habit. This is about seeing your work as more than just a job. It's a chance to express your genius, to strive for mastery, to make your work meaningful, a contribution, like turning your job into your art form.
I like that perspective. Okay, number 5 is the one everyone thinks of first.
Money. The prosperity as fuel for freedom habit. Yes, money is important. Sharma sees it as necessary fuel. It gives you freedom, lets you be generous, pursue your purpose without constant worry. And it's but he constantly warns against making it the only goal. He points to those cash-rich yet life-poor billionaires as cautionary tales. Money's a tool, not the end game.
Got it. Tool, not destination. What's number 6?
Community. The you become your social network habit. This is about the massive impact of the people you hang out with. Your associations, conversations, mentors. Basically, surround yourself with great people if you want to live a great life. Your network shapes you profoundly.
Yeah, you definitely feel that.
Hmm.
Number 7.
Adventure. The joy comes from exploring, not possessing habit. This one's fun. It's about finding joy in experiences, in moments of wonder and awe, not just buying more stuff. Prioritize collecting memories over collecting things. See the world, try new things. That's where real richness lies.
Love that. And the final one, number 8.
Service. The life is short. So be a very helpful habit. This really ties it all together. It's about making a difference, contributing to something bigger than yourself, finding purpose by helping others, but serving causes you believe in. He suggests that giving back is actually the ultimate way to generate true wealth in your own life.
Wow. Okay, so growth, wellness, family, craft, money, community, adventure, and service. That's quite a comprehensive picture. It really reframes wealth completely, doesn't it? It's so much bigger than just the bank balance. It's about building this incredibly rich, multifaceted life.
Exactly. It's a whole blueprint for living fully. And that leads to one of his most powerful ideas, which comes from that service section, but really applies across the board. It's the concept, live fully so you can die empty.
Live fully so you can die empty. That's provocative. What does that mean for you listening right now? What potential, what ideas, what experiences, what service do you want to pour out into the world so there's nothing left unsaid, undone, unlived? How can you start, maybe even today, filling your life with more of that wealth money just can't buy? Something to really think about.